We live in a world where linguistic richness, instead of being considered as a personal baggage with which to evolve, is used to insult and offend others. In particular, I wanted to focus on the figure of women and the so-called foreigners. Today, after centuries of struggle, women have reached a point in their lives where they can call themselves dependent and autonomous. Nevertheless, this long journey has not yet reached a real goal. Women's rights are still being trampled on and violated, whether in the domestic sphere through violence, at work through unequal pay, or in the civil and cultural spheres, with reference to the fact that not only the simple fact of wearing something too uncovered is synonymous with vulgarity and not very good women, but also with reference to the linguistic spheres that contains conflicting terms, which when conjuncted to the feminine take on a completely different meaning. This is linguistic sexism, an expression coined in the 1960s and the 1970s in the United States. With regard to this issue, the main hope is that the Italian language, like others, will favor the use of the neutral gender, as in the case of the English language, characterized mainly by the neuter nouns, articles, and adjectives. As far as the Italian language is concerned, which is characterized by grammatical gender, there are many sexist tropes in it that not everyone would notice. Examples are the rights of man, in Italian i diritti dell'uomo, which exclude the women, or the masculine concordance of adjectives and past participles, referring to both men and women. Example, Anna, Giulia, and Andrea have not yet arrived. In Italian, Anna, Giulia e Andrea non sono ancora arrivati, despite the presence of two female names. Another example is the monologue presented during the Davide Donatella Awards in 2018 by the actress Paola Cortellesi that mentions terms that in the feminine refer to a not very good woman. The same ambiguity that exists in feminine terminology also exists in the linguistic sphere, which is used to refer to people of a different ethnic origin, in particular the terms negro, black, and colored. In the first case, reference is made to a term that originally referred to dark-skinned people, word that with the slave trade acquired a negative connotation, as those concerned were considered a separate race with very specific physical characteristics. As for the other two terms, black and colored, they came into circulation from the 20th century onwards, replacing nigger, and were considered a symbol for the rights of African Americans in the United States. The problem lies in the fact that they are nothing more than euphemism, used to alleviate the expressive and fancy burden of nigger or negro, which in turn is considered a too crude word. Colored raises more debate these days because every human being or living being has a skin color, including whites. So why call each other black, white, or colored if in the end we all have a color and physical trait? A question raised by the poet and former president of Senegal, Paul Sédar Senghor, in Chef Blanc, Dear White Brother. Is it right to devalue the human being through language, through such conflicting and consciousness words? Because it is. There are groups of young people who call each other El Negro among themselves, without knowing the profound sense, just by hearsay. Just as there are terms used in the feminine in a derogatory way, while the masculine is not. Personally, I think it's nobody's fault. We live in a world where words have lost their importance, in a world where the way we speak without thinking makes us lose the deep sense of the one human race. And the only way to recover that is sense that reflects oneself is through the pursuit of respect and education. Because it all starts from there, from childhood. The period in our lives where everything is new to us and nothing is right or wrong. Cultivate the youngest in a world of diversity, make children understand that even girls can play dangerous games, makes them understand from the very beginning that human beings do not need to be labeled with colors or ambiguous expressions, make them travel, learn new languages, came into contact with others, so as to free us from the ignorance of which the world is full.